Necessarily those of KKNW, its management, or other advertisers. This is Alternative Talk 1150.
Rebecca Callahan wants to help you find and live your unique happy, the kind of life you might have only dreamt about until now. This is Soulful Synchronicities, and here she is, Rebecca Callahan.
Well, hello there. Spring is here. I'm liking that. The birds speaking their truths and all that. Hello there. I created the show to empower you to empower yourself, to create the kind of life you'd love to live. Soulful Synchronicities, unexpected and unexplained, amazing timing, kinds of situations that create incredible opportunities in your life. Quite often we refer to these instances as coincidences. Well, I like to think this is the universe working on our behalf. During my show, I'm going to be sharing things I keep learning and those people and books that have helped me along my journey. I'm in support of going outside your comfort zone. How about that? I found there's magic in life when I love myself. I added that in recently. It was seemingly impossible for a long time. When I choose to be me too, which I will be encouraging you to do, life is so much better. I'm a coach. By the way, I do one-on-one coaching sessions and in groups. Maybe you want to check to see if it's a good fit. You can contact me at DJ Rebecca Callahan at Outlook.com. Again, spelled DJ REBECCACALLAHAN at Outlook.com. And why not embody a life you love? Don't put it off any longer. Contact me today. Well, Eric, how's that camera looking?
It's looking good.
Is it looking good?
Yeah.
How's my hair? Is it messing up from the last time? I'll look in the...
I think
it's not going...
It looks great. It looks great.
Like, so good afternoon to you. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day here in the Puget Sound, so can't complain.
Yeah. How was the commute this morning and all that good stuff?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad commute for me. Anyway, I imagine other people had a tougher commute, but just from my perspective, it was pretty decent. So
I've always found you to have a great attitude.
Well, I try.
I think you do.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So I hear that you're taking a little time off with your band. And so, no, not here.
Oh,
working hard here. He's looking around. I'm working
Did you hear something I didn't?
Nope. So what are you finding to do with your lone time?
Oh, I've been binging TV.
Yeah? What do you watch? What do you like to watch?
I watched that Wild Wild Country documentary on Netflix this last week, and that was really compelling. So I watched all 6 episodes.
So tell me about
weekend.
that, just brief.
I don't
know about it.
It was about a cult in Oregon. Well, they were an Indian cult, and then they moved to Oregon, of all places, a small town in the middle of the desert. They bought a ranch there, and then it's kind of about the kind of chafing that went on between them and the locals. So, yeah, and it's a really interesting documentary.
It was a good watch, huh?
Yeah.
That's great.
Well done.
Yeah. Well, halfway through the work week, any fun plans looking ahead for you?
It's wide open right now, which is fun for me.
Yeah.
I like to be spontaneous sometimes on the weekend.
Yeah, it's fun that way. Hey, could you crank up my headphones just a little bit more if you get a chance?
You bet.
Thank you.
How about you, by the way? You asked me all these questions, and
with 2 wonderful nieces of mine. I just loved it. Gina from Salem, Oregon, my brother Steve's daughter, came, and her boyfriend. And then Katy, who I'm going to be talking to in just a little sec. She's here. Gina and Katy are cousins. And so anyway, we just had a great time. And Katy and her boyfriend came over, Nick, for dinner on Saturday night. And that was just fun. And you guys went out for a walk. You cousins, went out for a walk. And the boys, they hung out and they did play a few instruments. I didn't tell you that because I have I sort of collect instruments. And so that was fun because I just love to listen to that. But anyway, my nieces and nephews, they were my babies before I had my babies. And so they are a really big part of me. And Katy and I, this is who I have in my studio today. And Katy and I have an unmistakable bond that came from our first day here. Maturing into an incredible woman that she is today, I want to introduce you to my incredible niece, Katy Drew. Hi, Katy.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Yeah?
How are you?
Yeah, really good. Welcome. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, the first word that comes to mind is I'm a creator. I create a lot in my life, and I love to just feel that, again, power and empowerment from creating. So I have my own company. I like to create my own personal, like shampoos, lotions. I have a really fun time just learning how to make things for myself and for the ones I love. And then now my card business for people that, for anybody, really. So that is the word I like the best for who I am.
Creator. I like that. You are. So the candles and soaps, those are part of Taurus and Twine, or is that something else?
That may happen in the future, but for now, I'm focusing on my cards.
Yeah.
I make candles and bath products for friends and family, but I'm still learning a lot, so I want to, put the best product out there. So I'm just kind of learning still in that process. And my cards, I'm a lot more confident in. I've been doing it for over 5 years now.
Let's look at some of the cards.
Okay.
She has an incredible card line now on Etsy and also your own website.
Yeah.
And
the name of the card company is Taurus, like the horoscope sun sign, Taurus, and Twine, because I use a lot of twine on my cards. And so you can just go to taurusandtwine.com. That's my personal website. And then Etsy's just Taurus and Twine. So
the search Taurus and Twine,
yeah.
basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So my goal was to put words that just resonate deeply on a soul level and also are very validating to the person receiving them. So sometimes we're going through a rough time in our lives, and we don't want to hear that it's going to be all rainbows and butterflies. We want to hear, it sucks, man. This sucks. So, and that can be so healing to have a friend say, you know what? I am here for you. This sucks. I'll be in it with you.
Yeah.
And it's just exactly what I think a lot of people need to hear in a certain process of maybe mourning somebody or something, a life transition. And so I put some humor in it. I have some swear words. So
yeah, you do. And it feels good, kind of just like you were saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can we, how about we do one from your head that has one of those words, but we'll just do blank, right? How about that? So,
okay.
Go ahead.
There's one that says, I'm at a point in my life where I need a stronger word than
okay.
Fill in the blank.
There you go. Yeah, and it words. Oh, I think your great grandmother, my grandmother, my mom's mom. I think she sort of instilled that word strength in all of us, or at least she helped us on that path. And words are just so strong and feel so good. I feel like I'm a studier of words, and it feels so good when I don't know, like this one. Why don't we reel them off one by one?
Okay.
And so this one, just in case you're watching the video, looks like this. Okay. Your gold, baby, solid gold. That's what it says. I'll go through mine first so that Eric doesn't have to do the camera over and over again. So this is the next one. If you're watching the video, they're so beautiful. Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. This one, I showed the receptionist, Diana, here at the radio station, and she just loved that. The best way to predict the future is to create it. She said, "Oh, that suits me. Most definitely. That's my life." And yeah, and you were just saying you're a creator. I love that. And then this one, last one that I'll read, then we'll go to Katy. You are the sprinkles on the cupcake of life. Now you fit that bill for me. You are most definitely the sprinkles on my cupcake of life. So your turn.
So before we go to the next few I have, to give kind of the listeners an idea of what they might look like, the way that I write those quotes is I type them on an old Voss typewriter. Not quite sure how old it is, but I'm pretty sure it's from the 1950s, 1960s. And so it's very textured. It's kind of original, and the cards are pretty. Like they're not. So you might read the quote and be surprised and say, "Oh, that's really pretty," and then it says something really blunt, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's this contrast of aesthetically pleasing and good for the soul, which someone told me once, and it's always stuck with me about my cards.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so I use beads on them. I have Scrabble tiles on them. I try to have them be very textured. So, and they're all one of a kind. So every card I make does not get duplicated. I might use similar fabric, but there's nothing that's exactly the same.
I like that.
Which is the reason is because there's been many moments in my life where I've gone to a birthday party at a family gathering, and everyone's passing around the cards, and for this one person, and there's maybe 25 people there, and someone gets the exact same card for that person as another.
Yeah, I think I've had that happen before.
And then you don't feel original. You're like, oh, okay. And I just thought, that'd be a great thing to guarantee the customers this is a one-of-a-kind card. One may look similar, but, I cut fabric on them. I have different pieces of paper, so they're not going to be exact. So I just thought I would add that to kind of my whole company's mission and purpose.
Yeah, I like that.
The other ones I have is
oh, that's so pretty too. I love
this
that.
one is Stay Wild Moonchild. And a lot of these cards, like you're thinking, what? I don't know who to give that to, or that's so deep. I don't know if I could give that to
What do you
someone.
say to that?
I say you don't have to give it to anybody. You can buy it for yourself and put it in front of your mirror or
And
hang
as
it
you
on the
know,
wall.
I have many of those of yours that I do that with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one I just made, and I started using Scrabble tiles. My dad loves Scrabble.
He
And so
does. My brother.
So I think of him whenever I am working with Scrabble tiles. But this one says, I dance to show my soul that I'm listening, which is awesome.
Can we say that again?
Sure. It says, I dance to show my soul I'm listening.
Oh, I love that.
I changed it from a quote I saw at a craft store that said, I make art to show my soul I'm listening. I changed the word because I have a lot of I have dancer friends, and dance is just another expression of oneself.
Absolutely.
So,
it's like a light language. Art can be a light language. Different language can be a light language. But dancing and to feel things in your body, so important.
Yeah. And
this is the body we were given,
Yeah. And we should move it the way we want to.
Yeah.
Without any inhibition.
Yeah.
So,
I feel strongly about that.
Yeah. And then the last one is I make music to show my soul I'm listening. So both the dancing card and the I make music to show my soul is listening have music notes as the background paper.
And music is an incredible part of our family as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think all of these I'm not responsible for any of these in a sense. I'm just an accumulation of all the people, generations, to come that have taught me these things. Also just the people around me who are supporting me. So as much as I create these things, I couldn't do it without all the everything happening in my life that has happened up to this point. So
Yeah, and I think we're all an embodiment of that. Those people that help us along our journey, and et cetera, et cetera. We are going to go to a short break, but first, I wanted to let you know about a little place that I just love, and I have gotten some beautiful things from. I was going to wear this today, but I chose not to because I thought it would be a lot easier to show it to you this way, just in case you're watching the video. Basically, it's a tie-dyed kind of bohemian type of thing, right? And they come from handmade from Thailand, Indonesia, and Naples. I believe it's Naples. Anyway, and so they have this new line, and it's coming in. It's going to be full in by Tuesday afternoon. But this place is something else. It makes me feel really good when I walk inside. It's called Ladders Clothing and Company. It's in Stanwood, Washington. And they are full. It's a woman's boutique that is full of accessories and every kind of thing you could want. They've got hobo bags, other handbags, the cutest coin purses, jewelry galore, just really creative jewelry that I've picked up before. This is one of the pieces that I got, and every time I wear this, I actually get a compliment. So if you're watching the video, you can see it. But it is amazing. Yvonne takes really good care of you, and they have socks and scarves and hats, lotions, handmade soaps. They had this candle that smelled exactly like a peach right off the tree. It was so good. I just loved it. They've got greeting cards and a huge selection of candles, as I said, fun, reusable shopping and gift bags. And it's Ladders Clothing and Company. And just in case you are outside the area, basically it's the town that you go through to get to Camano Island in Washington State, about 60 minutes or less north of Seattle, in a smaller town, once again called Stanwood. And they also have, by the way, repurposed military canvas bags and totes. They even have some Seahawks jewelry and T-shirts. And basically, what she can do, Yvonne, if you're outside the area, is she can ship it to you. If she does little tidbits on Facebook and Instagram, and if you see something you're interested in, she can ship it to you. So that phone number you want to call is 360-572-4279. I'll say it one more time, but you can get it on replay as well. 360-572-4279. And once again, it is Ladders, like climbing up the ladder, Ladders Clothing and Company. They're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5, Sunday, 11 to 5. And they are a kick to walk into. I just love treating myself to that. I'm also wearing peach skin warm-ups that you felt yesterday.
those are nice.
That are just fairly amazing. The material is just so soft. But right now, we will come back, and we have a few things on the table that we want to talk about. But we'll be right back with Soulful Synchronicities with myself, Rebecca Callahan, and my guest, Katy Drew.
Hi, I'm attorney turned life coach Sunny Joy, host of Sunny in Seattle. I invite you to join me every Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. right here on Alternative Talk 1150 a.m. KKNW. Each week, I'll be bringing you amazing coaches, authors, and healers who are on a mission to encourage you, inspire you, and give you tools to live a life filled with joy, peace, freedom, and purpose. I look forward to connecting with you every Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. Sunny in Seattle, radio that positively shines.
Right now, Doctors Without Borders medical teams are operating in some of the most remote and dangerous corners of the world. When front yards become front lines, when disaster erupts, when disease rages, when communities collapse under crisis, at the crossroads of conflict and epidemic. Where there are no hospitals, that's where we operate. We go where conditions are the worst because that's where we're needed most. In nearly 70 countries, we're saving lives threatened by violence, disease, malnutrition, and catastrophic events. Donors are vital to our mission. Your response is critical to our response in places where few others will go. That's where we operate. Learn more at doctorswithoutborders.org.
Alternative Talk 1150. It's good for what ails you. This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA.
The show is Soulful Synchronicities, always heartfelt with an electric feel. Now your host, Rebecca Callahan.
Well, thank you, Dustin Hayes, for the music. I appreciate it, my boy. Katie's cousin as well. Don't you just love him? He's neat peeps too, you know?
Yes.
Neat people. Yeah, wrong term. Good people. How about that?
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, actually.
Yeah. So I was going to mention that today I sent you a text and I said, I got the DNA results. So Jerry, your stepmom, mentioned that she had done Ancestry.com and she'd gotten results. And I found that to be really interesting. She just told one time when I was at your cousin Kelly's wedding, and she was just talking in the car on the way, and we sort of all thought about it a little bit more after she was telling us about it. So I got it, and you had gotten it already, and you sent me your results when you got it.
Yeah.
And those commercials kind of do it for me, like 23andme.com. There's probably plenty more, and Ancestry.com are the ones I'm aware of. And where people, the commercials, I think it was right around Christmas, and people would come to the door, you know, and big hugs and everything, and it made me cry. So I thought, I think that's really cool and would be neat to know some more people that I could be, that I would be related to. What was it that did it for you? Why did you go for that?
Well, I got it as a gift from Jerry, my
Okay,
stepmom.
okay.
Because we had a great time talking about her journey, learning about cousins and, where she comes from. And then she had been to Ireland and she has some Irish in her. It was a great conversation. And so she got as an early Christmas gift me that kit. So I thought, great, why not? I'd love to know, in writing kind of where my lineage, is. And so I did it. And I also got my partner, Nick, the 23andMe. So it was kind of cool to see the differences in those. But because his dad's adopted, so he wanted to know, where he was and his lineage as well. So, I just got it as a gift, and I thought, why not? And especially given that, I have a lot of family members that are not doing the Ancestry.com, so to just let them know, like, this is my results, and just so you know.
Yeah, and you didn't really do it too, because you said something outside the studio that I thought was really interesting too, and I relate to it as well. Is everybody's the degree thing? What did you say?
Oh yeah, I heard this. I don't know if I'm accurate, but everyone's related to each other within 7 people or something along those lines.
I would believe that.
Yeah,
I
like
really
to some
believe
degree.
Some degree, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I didn't have any real desire to connect with like 4th or 3rd cousins.
Yeah.
I just, that wasn't, for me, it was where do I come from, you know, and I've been told I'm Welsh. Am I, majority Welsh? Am I just partially from,
I'd like to know
that area?
specifics.
Yeah, and it was surprising. So I don't know if you want to share your results or if you want me to share just the ones I remember.
Well, they just kind of break it down. I don't think it's necessarily, but they break it down into percentage basically. And I got African as well in
Oh.
mine. And I hear that it varies even between siblings.
Mm.
And so I don't know, but it was funny. The receptionist saw us together and it was like, oh, I can so tell you guys are family, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, because I've been, your dad and I look a lot, have similarities and stuff. So
Mhm.
anyway, I just wanted to throw that out because I thought that was interesting. One day, Katie and I got together and we were chatting at a Starbucks, and she started telling me about this movie. And you know when a movie just zings you, and I know you do, when a movie just zings you, and just is kind of incredible in the messages that it contains. And it's a Disney movie, and I'm not saying all Disney movies are, fantastic, and I'm not playing up Disney movies, but it's called Moana. And so M is in Mary, O-A, N is in Nancy, A, Moana, and it's on Netflix right now, free, so obviously. So, you can always check it out or buy it. It's a sort of a sight unseen, cool movie for some of us. But it has some really good messages. So it's not really necessarily the movie, but the messages that we really wanted to talk about. And one thing that you said was how empowering of a film it was.
Yeah, it's extremely empowering.
Yeah, and the strong feminine energy. And one thing that I've heard you say about the film quite a few times is, what is that?
I think that's my alarm.
I don't know. Oh,
I'm really sorry.
oops! It has a nice little
At least
sound
it's
to it.
pleasant.
It's kind of like a music box.
It's in my coat.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
that's way over there, huh? I wonder, is it going to go off until we turn it off?
It's going to probably continue to do that.
Oh,
yes.
well, maybe we should go get your coat.
Yeah, that would
Maybe
be-
that'd be good. Live radio, it can be interesting sometimes,
Oh my
don't you
gosh.
think?
My first time too, guys. I forgot to turn off my alarm. Sorry.
No big deal. And it has such
We're
a
gonna
nice
get
sound
some
to it. I
help.
really like that. Thank you, Eric.
Yes, thank you so much.
What would I do without my producer, Eric?
Just touch stop on
It's
it.
it's amazing. He is amazing. Thank you,
He
Eric.
fixed it.
Yay!
We can
Round of
move on.
applause. Woo! But one thing that you really liked about it was the friendship aspect and not the, they didn't have a romance. Can you expand on that?
Sure. Yeah, well, first of all, I have to say, I'm not one of those people that are crazy about Disney,
Mhm.
which it was a surprise. Whenever
Yeah.
you say, oh, this Disney movie, you're like, oh, this person loves Disney. Wrong. I am not like that at all. I think Disney's great, but I don't love it. I'm not a big Disneyland person. And so this movie really was a surprise. I took my little sister. I'm a big part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I took her to go see it. And I was crying in it, and I just was like, what is going on? But it really, it was my heart. That's how I felt. And all the messages were already in my heart. To answer your question, I really found it refreshing that the two main characters in the film didn't have a romance.
Nope.
There was no saving of anybody.
And it wasn't brother and sister either.
Nope, wasn't brother and sister. It was a true friendship between, a man and a woman, if you will, or young lady, I guess would be more of the appropriate term. But it just, I don't see that on a lot of Disney films. It usually ends in happily ever after, which is great. But I thought it was so nice to just watch a film. You're not worried about any of the dynamics romantically.
Yeah.
They're simply friends. And I just thought that was a beautiful piece of the film that made you really focus more on the actual messages, the storyline, the main character. There were no distractions from just the whole just the whole film's message, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and it wasn't a sad ending, by the way.
No.
It wasn't that. In fact, the last line was sung, and I loved the last line, "We know the way." I thought it was so inspirational, and it was a great top off from an inspirational movie. I rewatched it last night, as you know, and was just re-inspired. It's set in Hawaii, and it's kind of listen to your gut kind of stuff. Follow your true calling. Do you want to speak to that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so Moana is feeling a pull to stay on her island, and from her family, from the tribe, from people relying on her. And yet in her heart, she so wants to go what she says beyond the reef, which is, out in the ocean.
Yeah.
Her parents love her so much and want her to be safe, and so they have some fear around her going away.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a message I think a lot of us can relate to. Your family loves you. They want the best for you. It may look like a little bit more fear-based on their end, but it's coming from a really loving place.
Yes, it really is.
And that's important to remember. At the same time, it's really important to live your life, for you.
Follow your
And
heart.
Follow your heart. And I think that was it just spoke to my soul. And she does find that pull is just too strong to go and listen to her heart. And I just think that's a beautiful message for a young girl, as I've told you in previous conversations, from anyone ages, I want to say 2 to, 110. Like, it's all ages this movie can really speak to.
I think so too.
So,
And just to give you a little, someone wrote this storyline on IMDb. If you don't use IMDb, internetmoviedatabase.com, man, if you are a movie buff big time, you can check out all the characters, the actors and actresses or actors that play them. But anyway, Moana is a sea voyaging enthusiast and the only daughter of a chief in a long line of navigators. When her island's fishermen can't catch any fish and the crops fail, she learns that the demigod, Maui, caused the blight by stealing the heart of the goddess Te Fiti. The only way to heal the island is to persuade Maui to return Te Fiti's heart, so Moana sets off on an epic journey across the Pacific. The film is based on stories from Polynesian mythology, which wasn't that good, right up? Yeah, I really liked that. But anyway, it's a story that really kind of engulfs you right away. The music, we talked about the drums. That all of us, what were you saying? All of us kind of can tap into that energy that comes from drums.
Tribal chants. Yeah, just music that doesn't need electricity. Music that was created by us, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So primal. And so Disney did a great job at using, very authentic sources to create their music, and it shows and you feel it, and it just hits you in a different way. And drums, chanting, stomping,
music.
Clapping. I mean all those methods.
Kids dancing, adorable characters in this movie.
Yes.
Just love it. And it's set in such a beautiful place. They just do a really good job on it. But her grandma, Tala, is singing to her, talking to her, and she's saying, I know a girl from an island. She stands apart from the crowd. She loves the sea and her people. She makes her whole family proud. Sometimes the world seems against you. The journey may leave a scar, but scars can heal and reveal just where you are. The people you love will change you. The things you have learned will guide you. And nothing on earth can silence the quiet voice still inside you. And when that voice starts to whisper, Moana, you've come so far, Moana, listen, do you know who you are? And those lyrics kind of reminds me
And
of someone we knew.
yeah, well, let me say, and then she responds,
With?
I'm a girl who loves my island. I already know. I
You-
don't even
do you
need
know
a
it
cheat
by
sheet
heart?
for this.
I love that.
And a girl who loves the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And then it calls me. So it's like she can be both of these things. And that scene with the grandma, oh, yes, reminds me of my grandma Kay.
Which is my mom, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a constant support in my life. I think her love is just, it really is unconditional. And yeah, I watched that movie and I hear those words coming from her grandma and I just always cry every time. I even
Just
get a
thinking
little
about
teary
it
right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that's how I felt about my grandma. And so within the movie, you know, she appears throughout the movie in times, it seems to me, of challenge on Moana's part, of needing that support. And so I think she also speaks to anyone watching as just that person that, despite maybe other people not being in support, there's a person in your life that does support you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really important. But yes, back to grandma.
Grandma really left her heart
Yeah,
here with us.
yeah. And she and the grandma in the movie says to Moana, there is nowhere that you can go that I will not be.
Mm-hmm.
And that is also a moment I cry. And I don't want to say I'm not really a easy crier, but let me tell you.
You probably aren't. I don't think you are you?
I'm not.
Yeah.
But this movie just gets me. It just touches my, as I'm going to say 100 times in this, touches my heart in such a deep way. And so that rings true to anybody that isn't with us maybe in physical form, and yet they're still with us. There's nowhere you can go that they will not be. And it just is such a beautiful message. And her grandma is just wanting her to not be afraid of the ocean, to not be afraid of her dream, to listen to what she wants. There's even a moment when Moana's like, I'm not going out in the sea, because she has a scary moment.
Mm-hmm.
And to her grandma, and her grandma's like, all right. And then she's like, what? Aren't you going to convince me to? And she's like, all right, that's what you want.
One of my favorite parts.
Love it. I mean, she's also allowing her to live her life in whatever way that may look. And
Think for yourself.
Yeah.
It's important.
Such a beautiful message. And I really feel like my grandma is with me in spirit when I watch it. I feel like she's there going, yeah, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still with ya.
Yeah.
And so that makes me, tear up too, because I just love her so much. And I know she loves me so much, and all of us. So
yeah, she was a great lady, all right. She still is, because I certainly talk to her all the time. But I was going to say too, it touched a chord in your partner Nick as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I love him, by the way, but he knows that. But he has sort of a large heal the world kind of. Can you expand on that for me a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say his passion is to heal the earth. He is really passionate about permaculture, sustainability. He works for 21 Acres in Woodinville. And
what is 21 Acres?
It's I
and that's Woodinville, Washington.
Wasn't fully prepared for that one, but it's just obviously it's a land of 21 acres, but they use only a few really for educating people on how to, anything from cooking healthy foods to how to, can pickles, but really how to lessen the carbon footprint of in someone's life. They educate on, how to farm and but do it for your own garden, that type of thing.
And recycling, I got a big sense of recycling, and he knows about, Nick knows about building. What did he do in Puerto Rico? He went and he helped them build, I can't think of what it's called.
Oh, solar panels.
Solar panels, thank
Yeah.
you. And he just has this wonderfulness to him that I just treasure when I'm around him. And so I do love that about him. And actually, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in about a minute and a half, probably.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Make it a great day. Keep your dial on Alternative Talk 1150.
You're listening to Soulful Synchronicities. Rebecca's job, as she sees it, is simply helping to bring out the brilliance and magic that is you. It's heartfelt with an electric feel. Here's Rebecca Callahan.
Coming back with Katy Drew, my niece, very soon. Wanted to let you know about next week's show. I'm really excited about that, too. I have a certified practitioner, Tiffany Williams, and she is certified in EFT or tapping. I don't know if you've gotten into this, delved into this at all, but it is some kind of subject that can turn around your life. She learned under Carol Look, which is one of the top people in EFT tapping. And she's just wonderful. She's brilliant, yet she's so kind and such an incredible being. So I'm really looking forward to talking to her next week. And also, April 21st, not only is it my birthday, but we have a big event coming up as well at the Bellevue Hilton. It's the Women's Mind, Body, Spirit event. And once again, Bellevue Hilton, April 21st. And a whole panel from KKNW. You can ask your questions from these wonderful people, including Dina Marie and Sunny in Seattle, Susie. Eric, help me with Susie's last name.
Susie Hindlecare.
Hindlecare. And
Yeah.
her show, if I remember, is like Wednesday mornings.
Right. Radiantly You Radio.
Thank you. Radiantly You Radio. She's a great lady. I have emailed her before. And they're going to have this panel set up and so many other classes you can do. And I went to the last one in Linwood, and it was just so enlightening. I really enjoyed it a lot. Hey, Katy, back to Katy Drew. Hi, Katy.
Hi.
How are you doing? Your first time on radio ever.
I'm doing
You feeling
really
good about it?
good.
Yeah.
I'm with you, so it's easy.
It's kind of, thank you. It's kind of neat because, like, you and I, we don't have to talk about weather actually for a millisecond. We can, like, get right to deep, like, in no time flat. That's kind of one of the ways I describe our relationship one time, sometimes to people. It's just really easy with you. And I feel so grateful and lucky to have you in my life. Yeah.
It's mutual.
Thanks. So anyway, what I was going to bring up with you is food, because we've talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy ways, like exercise, like food. I've thrown out a few challenges of mirror work, like I am statements. And I hope you've done those and enjoyed those. I am light. I am love. I am joy. Can you come up with a few while I reel these off? I am woman. Hear me roar, right, Eric?
I like that one.
I am confident. I also ran into a great book that I encourage you to go and get. It's amazing. It's called The Magic Mala. And I was telling you just a teeny bit about it. But it's all about manifesting the life that you want. Can you continue with some I am statements? Did you come up with any?
Yeah, I thought I am abundance. I like
Yeah.
that one. I'm safe. I think that's a really good one if you want to work on
Yeah.
your root chakra.
Oh, I love that. I haven't
I'm
thought of
safe.
that.
Um,
The root chakra, yeah. I am safe.
Yeah. Those are the two that.
How
came
about
to
I
my
am
mind.
seen?
Yeah.
And just kind of
Great.
get confident as you say that and look in that mirror, focus into your eyes and start by saying things that you need to hear. How about the things I tell, and you know this, I tell a lot of great things to people, write a lot of great things to people, say, but sometimes I'm lacking that to myself, or I have in the past. And so tell those things that you tell your best buddies, those things. I love you. You are fantastic.
And-
you are magnificent. Go ahead.
Well, I have a card that says, give the love you so freely give to others to yourself. Something like that.
Gee, you did
And-
this card one day and you said, you know what? I did this card. It was that one. And you said, I realized that was for you. And yeah, that's been on my mirror pretty much ever since.
Yeah. And so I think just you see those quotes that are pretty common around the house, maybe like live, laugh, love. And those are beautiful and they can make a difference. And the quotes that I, bring forth, I really make them in a sense for the person reading it. They're a little different than maybe your standard card. And
Yes,
you
they
can
are.
read them and say, oh, I need to remember that, or I need to do that. And they're pieces of art, so you can put them on your wall. You can hang them wherever. But they aren't just plastic and,
Oh, yeah. They're beautiful.
flat. They're very textured. And so I love giving, quotes that just the person's like, oh, you know me so well.
Mhm.
But it's so easy, I think, for any of us to do that, to externalize all those amazing things about other people in our lives, which are true. But it's just as important, if not more, to give yourself that love, so that you can be the best person for those people around you.
And I think even more. I think
Mhm.
I'll go with even
Yeah.
more. It's really incredibly important to find that love and strength inside of yourself.
Mhm.
And that way, man, ever since I added love for me in the ball game, I don't know if you noticed this weekend, but it's like I'm so able to give it so freely, so much easier.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a huge change, but that mirror work and exercise, you walk sometimes. What do you do for exercise? Do you go to the gym? I can't recall what you do.
I
Just
just
kinda
started
move.
doing strength training again, which feels really good because I like to be strong. I like
Yeah.
to feel like I have a strong body.
Mhm.
But I really try and make whatever I'm doing something I like. I think
Yeah.
it's easy to be like, oh, here we go, another boot camp. Or if you don't love it, you shouldn't do it.
I'm so there.
And I
Thank
like
you
to
for saying
walk.
that.
I live in a really great area where it's easy to walk.
You're right by a path. It's kind of nice.
Right
Yeah.
across the street.
Yeah.
So I can walk. I listen to podcasts or I don't. Sometimes Nick and I go for a walk. But everything I do when it comes to especially exercise, I try and really be, okay, am I enjoying this? Because that makes a difference too. I mean,
and you can even start on something and think that, I'm listening to a podcast or something. Am I enjoying this?
Yeah. And it might resonate with you for a while, just like exercise.
Yeah.
And then it might not later on.
And, and that was one thing that you said that I didn't mention with Moana is, remember we talked about how people can walk into your life and it can be a really short time they're in your life. But you know what? They make a mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I in this movie, they're obviously not getting married. They're not together forever. They're in each other's lives for this really important moment and this really important chapter. And they leave an imprint on each other.
They really do.
And that was a piece I kind of took from the last time I watched Moana. I thought, the ending isn't that they're together necessarily. It's like, thank you so much. Have a nice life, kind of, but I'll see you around. And how many times have we had friends or even just people come into our lives and, it's just for a moment. My mom says, a reason, a season, a lifetime. And it's so true. And to me, those are all equal. There's no comparison. People can be just as influential for, say, a couple days of knowing them as, someone that you've known your whole life.
I can have a 5-minute or 20-minute instance with someone where it can be a waitress. It can be a waitress for me. And such a special interaction. And I don't know, I just feel like they were kind of there for a reason for me. And maybe I made an imprint on them. Maybe I didn't. But, it's just kind of notice these things. And these things are soulful synchronicities to me, too. And I had a strong plan to, these were the 2 words, the name of the show that I wanted for a real big reason when Grandma, right around the time that Grandma was leaving this plane, basically, so many time, just perfect timing kinds of things came up. I could write a whole book very easily about that, just in that neck of the woods, that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, it just, I feel really strongly about that. But food, I'm finding, is like, I've been doing the keto diet for the most part. And food, I'm finding when I experiment and I go away from it, I don't feel so hot. My brain is foggy. I get stuffed up. There's so many things. It's like, I don't know why I even want to stray from it, because it just really, when I'm on the straight and narrow with it, it's just, I'm feeling good. And I kind of feel like floating sometimes, like I'm walking, but it's easier. And tell me about how you feel about that.
I agree. I feel like the more you listen to your body, the louder it speaks to you when you don't listen to your body. Because I don't want to say I've been off of any kind of food, because I do try and still eat whatever I kind of want. But I'm mostly, I would say, gluten-free and dairy-free. Mm-hmm. And so when I eat a lot of one of those things, I can get a rash. I can get a stomach ache. I could, get eczema. I mean, my body just tells me what's going on. Too much, like you overdid it, and so it's kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time. But overall, I feel like it is a great way for the body to evolve. And so it's saying, no, that's not what I want. So I think that for me, feeling good in my body is worth a lot.
And definitely. And we've got to wrap up. I'm so glad that you were here today. Will you come back sometime?
Of course. I would love to.
I would love you, Katy Drew.
I love you.
Thank you for being in my life. And thank you for being in my life. Thank you for tuning into Soulful Synchronicities with me, Rebecca Callahan. Watch for my guest, listen for my guest next week as well. EFT practitioner tapping, would be Tiffany Williams coming up. We will see you. Have a great rest of your week.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of KKNW, its management, or other advertisers.